I am Kara Guiff, founder of Guiff Goodies for Education, where I focus on saving teachers time without sacrificing effectiveness. And this presentation is going to be about how you can do captions, and it's really not as hard as you think. I think in the special education world that we shy away from captioning because it seems like it's such a difficult thing to do. And what I've learned over the last couple of years, working with some students with hearing impairments and also having a hearing impairment myself, I've noticed that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if the punctuation isn't there. Most people just need a reference of words to help them understand what's being said. So the punctuation becomes less important. And in order to save us our time as educators and still be effective at our job, we have to look for ways to save time. So really, it's up to you how perfect you make it because anything is better than nothing. And there's an old saying that says, done is better than perfect. And see, I just noticed I had on my screen something that was covering part of my caption, but I'm not redoing because done is better than perfect. And so you're going to get to see my flaws throughout this presentation. So I want to shrink myself a little bit and make sure you are attending the session that is the one that you signed up for. So right here, I'm going to show you a little trick right now because this is how I'm getting the captions on this presentation right here. I have my slide presentation open, and when I click on the end, I go to the end, delete everything up to the word edit. See, it says edit right there, and then that slash, I'm going to delete edit, and I'm going to type present. And then when I hit enter, my slides will be in present mode, but I can still see the rest of the tabs. I can click from tab to tab and not lose my presentation mode. So that's a fabulous trick when you're presenting with kids as well, because sometimes we lose time trying to stop the presentation, get it going again, find the slide we were on. So that's just a really quick trick right there. And I've done that in order to be able to show you everything I want to show you while continuing captioning. So this session is adding captions. It's easier than you think. And this is a little bit more about me. I am a special education teacher. I'm a special education teacher with over 30 years of experience. I just started year 31. I just can't even believe it. Time really flies. Um, I have expertise in grades K through 12 and have taught resource for most of my career. And I'm currently in an alternative education setting where I work with 7th through 12th graders who are in high school in credit recovery mode and junior high kids that are struggling for one reason or another, mental health issues, physical health issues that hurt attendance, just family and life situations that are making school difficult for them, special needs students, all of that. And so I really enjoy the flexibility and the variety that I work with right now. But this part in the middle, this big yellow let's connect, that's for you if you want to pause, take a screenshot of that, write it down. I love connecting with other teachers. And so if you tweet at me, I'm at Kira Gwith. I do have a Facebook group called Thriving in SPED. If you look up Thriving in SPED, you'll find it and you can request to join that. I share lots of tips, lots of free professional development opportunities by myself and by others because I think finding good professional development for free is important for special education teachers. And then there's my email, Kara at withgoodiesforeducation.com. So if you're wanting to connect, that would be great. And then today I'm going to go over in this video my 4 favorite tools for captioning. Google Slides is the first, and that's what you're seeing right now. The captioning at the bottom of my presentation is from Google Slides. Otter Voice Meeting Notes, YouTube, and Google Meet are the other ones that we'll go over. So first, I want to show you how I got this amazing slide present right here with these captionings that are automatic and really pretty good. They're not perfect because nothing that's free is going to be perfect, but we can afford the time or the cost to get really good transcription as educators. So we have to go with the best we can and let our students see the options that are out there and choose what's best for them. So there's twofold to the presentation today. One is I want you to understand that you can capture material that you give to your students fairly easily, but I also want you to have the tools able to give to students who need them. Because not only students with hearing impairment benefit from captioning, but low readers, struggling students, kids with processing issues, kids with ADHD, because the words popping up on there cause them to focus on the screen instead of just a blank screen that's not moving. So there's lots of ways you can use these tools today. So the first I'm going to show you is how to do Google Slides. So what you'll have to do is open up a new slide, and you can do that by just typing in the search bar slides.new, and you will automatically get a brand new slides presentation. Now, if you're Microsoft School, I'm sure there's a way to do this in PowerPoint if you Google and find out how to do that. I just am not a PowerPoint person, so I don't know how to do that. Then you're going to do what I showed you on mine. Go to the end of this, delete everything, including the word edit, stop at the slash, and type, and type present. Then you're presenting a blank document. So all you have to do then is turn your captionings on, and it will make a space at the bottom. So now you can see my captions are going in front of the slide that it was behind because I opened a new one, and I can see my slide there. But how can you see what you want your students to see at the same time they see the captioning? So you can just take a tab, left click, hold it down, and drag it in front of that slide that you created. And then you need to open up both the slide that you created with the captioning. Oops, that's not the right one. There's my slide with my captioning. And then in front of it, I want you to put my presentation I want to see. Then I have to make this a little bit smaller. I'm trying to get up the top of the presentation until I get this little arrow that's going to pop up, an up-down arrow. And I keep missing the mark. Sometimes it's easier to find that if you, that is still not the right one. Okay, where did you go? There you are. Okay, it's sometimes easier to find it if you drag it down below the bookmark bar, and then when you point, you see that little arrow. I want that little two-pronged arrow to show up. Then I can click it, drag it a little bit smaller. Then I'm going to click on this empty space, not on the tab itself because that could mess things up. You want to click on this empty space, pull it up, almost cover the slide underneath it. Then you want that little two-headed arrow to show up on the bottom again. See, it's right there. Left click, hold, and drag it to the bottom of the presentation. And now all you're seeing is the presentation and my closed captioning. Pretty cool, huh? Now I'm going to put things back because I didn't need it separate like that. I'm going to close this new one. Now I've got my other one, and I want it to go to the bottom of the screen, so I'm just going to drag it to cover it like that. Nope. This is the one that goes on top, so I've got to make it a little bit smaller. So you're going to make me play with it again. And then I need to get my captioning slide up so that you can see my captioning again. I must have closed it, so I'm just going to create another new one. Slides.new, no problem. And there we go. You get to watch me do it again. I'm going to delete everything, including the word edit, slap at the slash, type present, enter. Turn my captions on, pull that full screen. Then I need my presentation in front of it. And then we've got it again. My captioning is going in the background. Here's my presentation on the front. So this will work if you are talking as a teacher or if you're playing a video. I'm going to start this video. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear the sound. You should be able to see captions go on the bottom when the video plays. However, sometimes the video feed is so quiet, even at full volume, that the captioning cannot pick it up. So if that happens, you just have to come up with another plan. That's why I've got other tools for you to try. So hopefully between all the 4 tools, there's a way to make it work. Something that helps with that is if you have an outside mic instead of counting on the mic that's inside the device, because you can set that outside mic right by the speaker of the laptop so that when the sound comes out, it's a little bit louder for it. But let's just see if this works. So it is not working right now. I'm not sure if you saw or excuse me, if you could hear the words or not, but the speaker was too soft and it didn't pull up. When I tried this out, it was loud enough, it did work. So sometimes it's the environment. If there's background sounds, like if your air conditioning or heat kicked in, or if you have a fan blowing, it can all affect it. So that didn't work really well right there, but that doesn't mean it won't work forever. So I'm going to now, that's Google Slides and how you do it. I'm going to go to Google Meet because Google Meet auto captions, and it's really not bad either. Like I said myself, I have a hearing impairment. And when we have online meetings, I either have to have slides pulled up behind it if it's in Zoom, or I need to use the captioning on Google Meet. So I prefer using Meet because it auto captions. So I'm just going to call this trying it out. Join the meeting, and obviously there's going to be nobody else in the meeting. Here I go. And right now my slides captioning is underneath, but you'll see what happens when I turn the captioning on in Google Meet. I also want to draw your attention to the right-hand side of my screen. There's a little black rectangle that has a 6-dot grid, a little cloud, and what looks like a pen or a highlighting tool. That is an extension for Google Meet called TACTIQ, TACTIQ, I believe, TACTIQ. I'm going to scroll over it so it pops up. Doesn't come up on there. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell it, TACTIQ, TACTIQ. And what TACTIQ does is create transcriptions for every Google Meet that you have. So if you're using Google Meet with students, it automatically turns on. I did nothing to open it. So once you install it, it will be automatic. And as soon as you start talking, students start talking, it's going to automatically make a transcript for you. And I'll show you that in the end as we go. I'm going to join the Meet so you can see my features. So down at the bottom right, if you've never seen it, there is a button that says, mine says turn off captions because I already have them on. Because they're on, they're right here. Something really nice about the captions is it has who's logged in so you can see who's speaking. And so this is me, so my picture's there. If I had somebody else in the Meet and they spoke, their picture or Google ID would pop up. And the TACTIQ extension does that as well. It will timestamp the conversation and say who's speaking. And so that makes it really nice as well. So I'm going to pretend that I'm done with my Google Meet now. You can see how it's transcribing everything that's being said right here automatic. And then I'm going to show you how it's also doing that in TACTIQ with very little work on your part. So I'm going to stop the Meet. I'm going to leave it. And then I'm going to go open this. I click on this. And because I have it set right here, I hope you can see underneath there it says switch off autosave. I have autosave turned on. And so what it did is right here created a doc. It's a little blue button. And when I click that, it takes you to the document that's now inside my Google Drive. It automatically saved it for me in a folder called TACTIQ. And here is the website for that, tactic.io, if you want to learn more. But you can search it in the Chrome store too as TACTIQ and add it as an extension. So if you highlighted things with that little highlighter, you would have that up here. So it'd be special notes you're wanting to note. And then it's transcribed. I started at 00, and this is what I said. If there were other people in it, it would have when they started talking and their name. What's nice about it is if you do like perfection, you can click right. It's a Google Doc. So you are literally able to change anything you want in here to make it better. You can type over something to make that, oh, that was supposed to be hey, not a Google. And so you can do all of that because it's just saved as a Google Doc. Then all you have to do is share that in Google Classroom or whatever LMS you use, or you could share it and email it to specific students that you know need that. It's super helpful to have this for kids who are absent or doing virtual learning and unable to attend live because you don't have to redo your instruction and they can get it a little bit quicker sometimes by reading through the transcript and then deciding, do I really need to go watch that lesson or not? Like I said, I love seeing the transcripts because I sometimes can do things a lot quicker than actually having to watch an entire video. So that is how Tactique works within Google Meet. And then aside from that, you saw the live captioning. I do want to see if the video will show the captioning on the Google form if I do it through Meet, because sometimes it changes the way the microphone listens to it. So again, this isn't something you would do for your students most likely, but if you have students that benefit from captioning, you want them to learn how to do this so they can independently take care of their needs. So I'm going to rejoin this Meet. I'm going to share my screen. And there is a tip about Google Meet. It actually tells you right here, instead of sharing your entire screen, share a Chrome tab because it's best for video and animation. And that is absolutely the truth. Your students will hear no sound in a video you share with your screen unless you choose a tab. So I'm going to choose a tab and I'm going to share where my video was that we were trying to watch. And I can't remember which one it was. There we go. Okay. So I want to share this Edutopia one, share that screen, and let's see if it does better with the captioning. Okay, so it is still not captioning, unfortunately. However, if you notice, it is putting it on the Google Meet. I'm going to pause this. It probably sounded a little choppy to you. What I've noticed is when I share a video through a tab on Google Meet, if you let it go just a minute, it starts to clean that choppiness up as long as you, the presenter, stop touching your mouth because I was trying to show you things I was touching the mouth. But I did notice when I went back to my home screen for Google Meet, the auto captioning was picking up what the video was saying and was putting it in the captioning. So if a student is watching through Google Meet and has their captioning on, they're going to see those captions, even though the microphone wasn't able to pick it up and put it on the Google slide captioning. So that's a really good thing to know as well. So done with Google Meet. There are a couple of other things I want to show you. The first one is Otter voice meeting notes. It is Otter. I'm not sure why they call it Otter. Apparently, I was making notes and forgot to stop them, so I have 24 minutes of notes here. And it's processing. But what I want you to see in here is you can name the notes. And so students can do that too. So if they are listening, even to in-person training, if they're in-person student and their chemistry, biology, history teacher is doing lecture, they can open up on their device otter.ai and it will caption everything for them. So I'm going to open that up for you to show you what it looks like and they can name it. So pretend I'm sitting in US history class and I'm opening up my Otter and it starts writing out a record. You can see that and I can call this US history civil or notes, whoops, maybe this is 1. So I will have those now saved. And every time there's a break, a new speaker is going to start a new conversation. So if I make a little break and then I start up again, it's putting a timestamp on that. So if a teacher, and as you're teaching, if you have kids using Otter, what I suggest is when you call in a student, so you would say, does anybody have a question? And you say, oh, John, what's your question? And then John will say his question, and likely it's not loud enough for Otter to pick it up. But there would be that pause while you were listening to John. And then you can say, so John asked, da 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 da, and then answer that question or lead the discussion however you want to go. And this is just taping it. It does a very nice job with it. So when I'm done, I just click this stop button and it's processing it for me now. And I've got these US Civil War notes. You also can make folders over here. So if I want to do the US history so that I can always have my notes there, I can create that folder, and then when I'm up here in my conversation, I can label that to be in that folder. That's not where you do it. Oh, I ended up in the edit screen, sorry. So I want to take this and put it into that history folder. And then when I click on the history folder, it should be in there. Of course, I'm trying to demonstrate this and it's not showing me why it's there. I have no idea why it's not putting it where I want. It could be because that one's still transporting. Oh, move it. There we go. Now I can put it in the folder. So now when I click on US history, I should see my notes in there. And there's a US history note. So you can see a student could have a transcription of all the notes that they need. So for hearing impaired, like I said, for ADHD, anybody who needs a little bit longer processing time, this is going to be very helpful for students. And you're done. The last thing I want to show you is with YouTube. And YouTube will auto caption as long as you have it turned on. So I'm going to go back to my channel and I have the captioning turned on. And so all of my videos are automatically captioned. Unless you turn it off, your channel should do that if you're uploading things to YouTube. If you are not sure if it is, then you need to go through and make sure you've got that turned on. So my channel is not made for kids because this is my adult channel, not my teaching channel. And then I go to subtitles. And I choose a video. So I'm going to just choose this one right now because it's very short. And I have to choose my language. I want English. And what I'm going to show you is that you can automatically change those transcriptions. So right here, I want to duplicate and edit. And here is the transcription from my entire 1 minute and 14-second video. Obviously, if you did a 30-minute video, going through this is going to take a while. But right here, my name is spelled wrong. So I might want to change that because that's important to me that my name looks right, especially since this is a professional video. If it's for my students, I'm not sure it matters that much, except for that it's nice for them to know when your name comes up. And so then I also don't like the way this isn't capitalized and has my last name spelled wrong. So if it would say Mrs. Guiff, you might want to fix that on your captioning for the kids. But for the most part, remember, the tip I gave you in the beginning is that students really don't need to see all of the words perfect underneath the captioning. The purpose of the captioning isn't to teach proper grammar, proper reading, proper spelling. It is for kids to understand what's being said to them in a way that they can figure it out. And so there isn't tons of garbage in this. And it doesn't come across like this paragraph when you play it. It just shows up on the bottom of the screen like caption. But you can go and fix this as much or as little as you like. And it's really an amazing feature. So I hope that I have shown you some ways that captioning can help you with your students. My first favorite is Google Slides, and so if you're a PowerPoint user, I'm sure there's a way to do that as well. The second one, we went over Google Meet, how it auto-captions, and can help you with captioning videos. The third one we used was Otter, which is really mainly just to take in human voice. The microphone for videos doesn't work very well at all. The internal mic has trouble picking up from inside the computer. So the Otter is really just for human speaking. You could turn it on and split your screen during like a Google chat or a Zoom chat, because I know Zoom does not auto caption unless you have, I think, a really high paid account. So if you need captioning for Zoom, Otter might be something to try. And then the last one, I just showed you going how to fix your transcripts on your YouTube videos if that's where you're putting your instructional videos. As I said in the beginning, feel free to message me, email me, comment on the video, and I'd be happy to interact with you and answer any questions you have. Happy captioning!